All right, so we're gonna get started. Hi everyone, what's up? And to all of you on Zoom, super glad you guys could join us. No matter if you're on Zoom or if you're in this room. So cool. Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just like do a quick overview of what we've been doing in case you guys haven't been involved or don't know what's going on. So just last week, last Friday, we got into the greenhouse and we're able to plant some plants in there. And we're actually planting some native plants for a fundraiser that we're doing, and we'll get to that later in the meeting. We basically planted a bunch of native wildflowers like Texas star hibiscus, Texas yellow star, bunch of really cool plants. We planted them in these little biodegradable pots, and they're in the greenhouse now. So, I mean, that was a really great event. It was really fun. So thank you guys, whoever came, like, thank you guys for coming. That was a really fun time. And yeah, we got a lot done. So yeah, these are just some photos of the plants that we have in there right now. We have some milkweed plants that Miss Coffee started a long time ago, as well as those seedlings that we have. So right now, we don't have too many in there. We're just kind of starting them to see how they germinate and stuff. And later on, probably this weekend, we'll get in there and plant some more, just depending on how like things turned out. So yeah, it's kind of the state of the greenhouse right now. We finally have green things in there, which is really cool. Um, because I mean, like just a month ago, it was totally broken and things were just strewn around in there. So it's been really cool to see the progress that we've been able to do in just like a month or so, be able to clean everything out um, and getting things fixed. Actually, there was a lot of progress done, not even by us. So we were really lucky that like CISD or just these maintenance guys or from CISD came in. And they're kind of like HVAC nerds, and I don't think they were paid for it or they had to or anything, but they came in and fixed the greenhouse for us. So like the irrigation and cooling system, like the big heat exchanger in the back of the greenhouse wasn't working before, as well as some of the temperature control stuff. So they actually came in and fixed that for us recently, and they've installed like this whole like thing in the back, which is really nice. Um, and we
It's got a heater.
Yeah, and it's got a heater. So
winter.
everything is like working in there now, which is totally crazy because we didn't have a part of that. And actually, yeah,
We did. It was because Miss Coffee asked.
you did.
That's how it happened. I said, "Hey,
I
can you
thought,
fix this?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll look into it."
oh,
Yes,
I
it's
thought you
because
had.
of
I
me.
thought you
No, I
didn't have a
went
work
down
order.
there and they were working on the thermostat, and I'm like, "Hey, do you know anything about this thing?" The swamp, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a swamp killer." I was like, "It's broken," and they're like, and I said, "Do you know how we can get it fixed?" And they're like, "We can do it." But it wasn't requested formally. They just did it all underground. Like they just did it, and then they talked to their bosses, their supervisors, and they just did it all. Like it's crazy. But yeah, it's because of me.
Yeah, it's coffee.
No, the lesson to be learned from that experience is that it never hurts to ask. Like, because if I didn't like, it's just one of those things where you can't lose anything from asking, and then who knew like that would have happened.
Yeah. Also, an idea that Miss Control had is that like we want to say thank you to them because they didn't really have to do anything, but they did because I don't know, they wanted to and they wanted to help out. So this weekend we'll be coming into the greenhouse. More info on that later in the meeting, but this Saturday we're gonna create a couple cards and have people at the event sign them. So we can just give them to them like the next time we see them because I mean they were totally awesome and fixed up the greenhouse when they didn't really have to. So yeah, there's that. It's kind of how we're looking right now. All right. So now that we have plants in the greenhouse, we like the officers have been working on a system to get people involved. So for all you members out there that want to come and see the greenhouse and like get involved with like watering the plants and stuff, we created a system for that. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, there'll be an opportunity for people if you're in person and you want to come water the plants because we have to get in there like on a regular basis to water them and see how they're doing and stuff. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during Sea Advisory, you can sign up to water the plants. And basically, oh, sorry, go back. Basically, how that'll work is that you'll meet in Miss Coffee's room, which is 3310. That's where we are right now. And she'll take you down there during seed advisory because it has to be supervised, like, and there's a key for the greenhouse. So yeah, just because like it's a school facility, um, and it is locked most of the time. Like we can't have people going in and out of the greenhouse when it's not supervised. So we're creating opportunities like this for people like who want to get involved with the greenhouse, just to be able to get down there during the school day. Because like the greenhouse is like school property, and we want everyone to be able to use it. So yeah, if you want to get involved with watering the plants, which is a really cool thing to do, I think just get in the like in the middle of your school day, just go down there and spend some time in the greenhouse, like nerding out with some plants. Yeah, you can sign up using this form, and basically there's can be 3 people per day, and they'll just go down there with Miss Coffee and water the plants in the course of one advisory period. So that's a really cool thing. If you're interested in that, you can sign up using this form, and that'll also there's a lot of QR codes. So these will also, all these links will also be sent out on the Remind, as well as put in the description of the YouTube video of this recording. So yeah, those will be made accessible. And the second little action item before we get into like the events that are going on is that we have club dues. We're not forcing anyone to pay them, but if you are involved in the greenhouse initiative and like you really want to, keep going with the greenhouse and like help out in the spring semester and like, volunteer at the fundraising events and stuff like that, we'd really like for you to pay $15. And these are for just like supplies that we need for the greenhouse, because it was like we pretty much are building it from scratch. We had to throw out a lot of things. There's a lot of gardening materials in there. I'm assuming you think. So, but yeah, so basically this $15 is just for any supplies that we might need to buy, like racks or things like that, or pots or something like that, just for us to be able to like do things in the greenhouse, like planting things, all of the supplies that are needed, to continue. So, it's $15, and the link is right there in that QR code. So if you, are involved in the greenhouse initiative and you want to support the cause, please pay dues.
Just a heads up, the QR code is a link to the sign up.
Now, all right. The QR code's a disaster. Don't use them. The links will be sent on the Remind and put in the YouTube description, and they'll also be in the Instagram. So, yeah, the QR codes are a no-go. But yeah, please pay your dues. All right. So the first thing, upcoming event. Well, this one is actually not for a while. This is kind of our long-term goal. But we'll be holding a native plant sale Saturday, December 19th. So location and time is yet to be decided. But this is essentially like the plants that we've been growing, that's what they're gonna be used for. And by the way, Saturday, December 19th is the first day after school gets out. So school gets out on Friday, the 18th, which is a half day. We'll be holding it most likely the next morning. And essentially what we'll be doing is we'll be selling the native plants that we just started growing. So we've started the seedlings, these native wildflowers. And we'll be going outside to a place, we're canvassing locations right now. A place like a Home Depot or an Ace or somewhere like that, or like the Houston Garden Center, if they'll let us set up a table outside. We'll be selling these plants out there just to raise funds. We can use those, either like in supplement of the dues to pay for things that we need for the greenhouse, or if like you members feel really strongly about a certain environmental organization, you guys want to bring that up, or sustainability cause, I mean, we can definitely talk about like making a donation or making this some kind of like cause that we support. But yeah, that's essentially the plants that we're growing right now in the fall, because the seasons that we're able to do, like, because we just started getting into this and getting the greenhouse cleaned up and stuff planted. This is pretty much one of the only things that we can do in the fall, just grow these sprouts and sell them. And in the spring, we can start growing vegetables or things that take a longer time to grow. But for now, we're focusing on the date, December 19th. And we'll be getting a lot more information about that once we decide the location, decide the time and date, and then we can get all the information out to you, out to all of y'all, like the days that we'll be going in the greenhouse to prepare things and like pot plants and all of that. And all that will be opportunities for each one of y'all to get in the greenhouse, just kind of enjoy, working in there. So that's all for that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of the officers. We'll all be like willing to answer your questions if we know the answers. But yeah, continuing on. The next event, which is happening very, very soon, because this is very, very recent news, is that during the cleanup day, there's a couple planters boxes outside the greenhouse, and we actually stripped them of all the soil because they were like completely overrun by weeds. And if like we just took the weeds out, the amount of seeds in the soil, like the weeds would be back in like a week. So we had to completely get rid of it. And we were actually able to set up a delivery with Nature's Way Resources, which provides like really, really nice composted soil and garden mixes and stuff like that. We're getting soil enough to fill all these planters boxes delivered to CP this Saturday at 1 p.m. And I know it's really short notice. Like we decided like yesterday or something like that. I think I was stuff ordered, but we're really trying to get things, on the roll, trying to run with it, so we can get things done before winter break. So this Saturday, if you're interested in coming, we'll be needing help shoveling the dirt, transferring it into the planters boxes, so as well as like spreading the tarps below the planters boxes. And Mr. Cantrell will be constructing the planters boxes before we get there. So if a couple of y'all want to come early and help with that, still unsure about that, but yeah, essentially, if you would like to volunteer, please contact an officer or just reach out to someone on their mind to let us know you'll be coming so we can kind of gauge the numbers, and split up groups, and come at 1 p.m. Obviously, like we'll send out more information about this. This is kind of what we have right now because we're planning it as we go. Yeah, we'll be getting into the greenhouse this Saturday. And while we're there, actually, we'll be planting some more native plants because we still have a lot of seeds and pots left over. And, like we just kind of want to use those for before we get to the fundraiser. So we just have as much as possible. So yeah, it'll be a really cool event this Saturday. So if you're free, right at 1 p.m., probably won't be too long, maybe like an hour or two. We'll be getting in there, transferring the soil, and planting some more natives. And if you have a wheelbarrow or a shovel, please also if you're willing to bring those things, please also let an officer know because one of the things that we will be needing is a wheelbarrow. And we can talk about providing that. I think we might already have a source for that. That is one thing that we need, as well as a lot of shovels. So if you have a shovel that you have like at home just for like gardening or something, like please just let an officer know and then bring that. That'd be awesome because like we need shovels to transfer all the dirt. So that's all on that for now. And one last event that I'd like to add is that once we get the soil in, Lauren and Emlyn are working really hard on a plan for what vegetables we want to plant and what we can plant outside that won't like die in the winter or over winter break. So we're trying to like rush and see if we can get those things planted sometime early next week. So there will also be an event after school where you guys can come in and help with planting. And again, we'll get more info out, as soon as we get that planned. We're kind of going with everything as it comes and just running with it. So, bear with us. We're trying to get this done as quick as possible. And yeah, of course, last thing is we're still lacking a lot of things. We do have a lot of like random stuff that was left over from people who used the greenhouse before. But if you guys have any gardening materials at home that you don't use or like you don't need, it's like potting soil, pots, planters, boxes, like, little plastic containers and stuff like that, as well as like gloves and, anything on this list. And you have no use for them, like we'd definitely love to have those because we're not really taking anything on. So if you guys have any of that, just let an officer know and we can set up a time to bring it to school or drop it off like back behind the school by the greenhouse or something like that. And that would be absolutely awesome because that's less money that we have to spend and that we can spend doing other things like buying plants and all the stuff that money buys. Yeah. So yeah, that'd be great if you guys have anything like that. Okay. Last thing, I don't know if these QR codes work. Like, I think QR codes are a little bit of a disaster. So, but yeah, all right, Harry's testing them. All right, but hopefully this news links works. You can let me know or not. But basically, for now, the action items are if just to it works, great. All right, to pay your dues, please get that done as soon as you can, and then. If you can, just attend the soil delivery day this Saturday at 1 p.m. That's kind of all that I have for you guys. Do you officers have anything? None to, okay, yeah. So we'll get more information to you guys out about, soil delivery and, where to park and, when to come and all of that, as well as the event next week where we'll be planting stuff outside in the planters boxes. Now we have all the soil. We'll get that out to you as soon as possible. But yeah, that's really it. Thank you guys for coming and thank all the Zoomers for coming. There's a chat. Is there a question? Tell them to bring their, okay. Oh yeah, also if you guys could, would definitely say that this Saturday is an event to bring your friends to, like the more the merrier. All the things in the greenhouse are just kind of like fun opportunities for us to get involved because this isn't just something that has been unused for so long. And we're just kind of getting in there and enjoying like the opportunity to be able to like work with things on our campus, which is I think is really cool that we can have all of this. So definitely share this with all your friends. Like we want the greenhouse to be accessible to everyone in College Park. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That concludes this meeting. Thank you guys all for coming. And if there's any questions, reach out to any of the officers. Bye, Zoomers.
All right. Thanks, Ethan.